All right, what is up, everyone? OJ over here from Player Essence. Welcome back to another PE Live, and it's a bit, no, actually, no, everything's fine in the room. I thought it was a bit dim, but everything's good. What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing today? Got a nice show for you guys. Already got about 50 people in here, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. Pretty good Saturday. Today is February 2nd, 2019. A lot of stuff to talk over, guys. A lot of current news. Or should I say not day old news. We got some news that's a little bit older, but then we also got some news that's new, and we're going to be talking about God Eater. That's going to be the centerpiece of today's live stream. God Eater potentially coming over to Nintendo Switch. Bandai Namco has responded to this, and it's kind of the same stuff that always happens with these type of games, guys, when it comes to Bandai Namco or when it comes to any Japanese company. I mean, we all know the deal when it comes to it. I'll explain the deal to you guys, what happened with God Eater and what's going to happen going forward in the future. So we'll talk about that. We also got some Bloodstained Ritual of the Night news that recently dropped. There's an ESRB rating. I wanted to make sure that it was real before I talked about it. So yeah, we got an ESRB rating for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. So we're going to talk about that and kind of how long this game has been in development and everything surrounded that. Plus we have a nice Q&A. We'll have random questions. It's going to be a nice live stream. Let's go ahead and let's get into the shout outs for today though. So if you want me to say what's up to you, make sure you say what up in the chat. Real quick with Ninja News, guys, we do have Dragon Marked for Death. We got a review of the game. I actually reviewed the game. I played it all last night. I played it for hours last night. Played through the game, got a basic feel for what it's going to be like and kind of how the game is and the combat and what you need to know. What you need to know if you want to buy the game or not, you know. So that video is up on the channel. I am gonna try to see if I can do Wargroove as well. That game looks pretty cool. Looks like it's $20, well deserved. And funny thing is, I could have got a review copy for Wargroove, and I freaking didn't check terminals. I should have checked terminals because I could have got a review copy for Wargroove, you know, which was I could have got a review copy. But anyway, I put in my request for the Xbox One version, so I might just buy the Switch version, then I'll get a review copy of the Xbox One version as well. So that'll be cool. But anyway, in terms of content for the rest of the, I don't think there's going to be any content tomorrow, Super Bowl Sunday. I might do a video. I might do something. I need to put up one of those Resident Evil Let's Plays. So yeah, if you want to watch me play Resident Evil, I'll probably have a video up on Sunday. So look forward to that. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's move into the shout outs. Let's see here. Artist Akira, Elite Ninja Artist Akira is here. It says Akira is here. My day is good. My day is good. I actually just woke up just a bit ago. So yeah, I woke up, I didn't eat anything. I just woke up, got a drink of water, brushed my teeth, you know, comb my hair, wash my face, and then, yeah, and then just got the stream ready. So yeah. All right, let's see here. Jonathan Slocum is here. Alonzo Vines is here. Kenyatta Ali is here. I'm back at it again. Let's see here. Venom Snake, there is no Wii U version of Bloodstained Ritual. That got canceled a long time ago. Shout outs to Fury Tiger. What's up? Elite Ninja Fury Tiger is here, co-captain of the Viking Nation. What's good, man? Acoustic Dude, Elite Ninja Acoustic Dude is here. T-Dude is here. My man Avadon. Avadon is here. What's good, Avadon? Bud Senior, what's good? Bud Senior. Elite Ninja Bud Senior is here. Elite Ninja Amiibo Fan is here. Mr. Pete, 1985 is here. What's good, Mr. Pete? Alonzo Vines, once again. Rufus, Elite Ninja Rufus is here. Elite Ninja Acoustic Dude, what's up, man? How you doing today? Urameshi, what's good, Urameshi? Twitch boys, I can see you too. Twitch boys and girls. Elite Ninja Sean Diamond is here. MTY 1983, KJ 2399. Darth Wesker is here. What's good, everyone? The Informed Gamer, what's good, man? Let's see. You said, I don't get why Japanese devs aren't porting all their games on PS4 and Xbox. The Switch is the second best-selling console in Japan. Well, let me ask you a question. How many Japanese games did they announce recently that were being ported over from the PS4 and Xbox One? Didn't we recently get Capcom announcing that they're porting over a bunch of Resident Evil games? They're porting over Dragon's Dogma. They're porting over Final Fantasy X/10-2 HD Remaster, in addition to Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age. We're getting announcements. It's just like, it's not going to be, you can't get every single game ported at every single time in like 1 month. They can't announce every single game for like, you can't get like 5,000 games in 1 month. You know, it's going to be a steady flow of stuff. So it's not, they don't snap their finger, then all of a sudden the Switch port appears, you know. We are getting lots of announcements for Japanese developers porting over stuff. It's just, it's not going to be like, you can't get every single game announced today. I mean, I think, you know, I mean, I see what you're saying, but every single game is not going to be announced like out of nowhere, especially when they've been working on the games for 3 to 4 years. Switch came out 2017. Developers did not have enough. Well, a lot of developers didn't believe in the Switch, so a lot of Japanese developers didn't believe in the Switch, but Switch just started selling good Not at this point. They adjusted their plan. So it's going to take time. They got to finish their games first on PS4 and Xbox One, and then they have to get a solid team to port it over. So I mean, there's a lot of logistics that kind of go into it. And Switch ports can take up to a year to do. You know, can take up to 1 year. If you're good, maybe you can get it done in 9 months or something like that. But they can take up to a year to do. So it's not as simple as just snapping your fingers, then a wild Switch port appears. You know, you got to give them more time, and it's unfortunate. I mean, if Switch ports can take like 2 months, then we'd see a lot more. But they take up to a year. They can take, you know, especially for the bigger ones, And not only that, like I said, you have to find a quality team. It's like, well, what about the team? If the team's busy with a bunch of stuff, I mean, Panic Button has stated multiple times in interviews that they don't have enough resources and manpower, that they have to turn down projects. The developers will be coming to them like, hey, can you port this? Can you port this? And they're like, nope, we can't, because we're freaking packed full of work. Same thing with Virtuos, same thing with Iron Galaxy. They're all packed to the brim full of work, you know? So, I mean, it's really what it comes down to too, you know? All right, so let's continue on here with the shoutouts. Clash with Sprees, what's good, man? Cho Zombie, what's good, man? What is this Dish Essence stuff? I don't know what you guys are talking about here. What's up, Shadow Prince? What's good, man? Jolop Kirks, what's up, man? Let's see here. TG Lopez, what's up, man? Oh, okay, shoutouts, dude. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time. Let's see here. The Informed Gamer, what's good, man? Let's see here. Solo Nepion, what's good, man? How you doing? I don't know about all those games, the Informed Gamer, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, Nier Automata, that's 2017 game. There's been newer games ported over from Japanese developers than a 2017 game. I mean, there's been games like, for example, like Valkyria Chronicles 4. You know, that game was, you know, newer, and that was on the Switch. You know, I think even like games like Ys 8, Lacrimosa of Dana were newer than some of those. But no, Code Vein and God Eater and stuff like that. I mean, those games are going to have to wait a little bit more to be ported over, just because they've been in development for a while. So yeah, you're not always going to get those day and date, but we're going to talk about it right now, man. We're going to talk about it right now. If you don't care about portability, then I would just say buy the game on the PS4. All right, so let's, or Xbox One if you have it. All right, so let's go ahead and get into Bandai Namco. So Bandai Namco talked about God Eater 3, and they said that Bandai Namco is listening closely to people who want God Eater on Switch, and they should really be listening to their bank accounts when it comes to this, because God Eater did not do as well on PS4 and PC as it did on PS Vita. We all know God Eater is beast tier on PS Vita. That's where people want to play it, or that's where people did play it portably, and there was no portable version of the game. So here's what they had to say. So during an IGN Japan interview, Bandai Namco Entertainment developers, and this is from Nintendo Soup, were asked about the possibility of God Eater 3 or a God Eater game on the Nintendo Switch. Yusuke Tomizawa, the general producer of God Eater, said the company frequently receives requests from users to port God Eater titles to Nintendo Switch as they want to play God Eater on the go. Although the development team previously prioritized brushing up the quality of God Eater 3 on PS4 and PC, they feel it's now necessary to listen to the voices of Nintendo Switch users. God Eater 3 producer Yuya Tomiwa, Yuya Tomiyama said he understands that there are many people unaware to play on TV and is aware of their numerous requests to see God Eater on Nintendo Switch. And I don't know why my alarm is beeping. Give me 1 second, guys. Chair Essence just for a bit. Okay. So he says that and he's aware of their numerous requests to see God Eater on Nintendo Switch. So there you guys go, which this basically means God Eater is coming to the Nintendo Switch. God Eater's coming to Nintendo Switch. It's just going to come. I mean, like, and I can understand. I mean, they've been working on God Eater. Shout outs to Patrick West with the subscription. Thank you so much. Welcome to the village, homie. Appreciate the subscription. Guys, give Patrick West some love. So yeah, I can understand why they didn't have it ready at launch. God Eater 3 was in development for a long time. They were trying to make sure they can get a quality game out. These God Eater games are notorious for sometimes having some issues. So yeah, I can understand it. I think it's going to come eventually. Most of the games are going to come over. It's just like I said, there's only 12. There's only 12, and I'll get that donation in just a bit. Shout out to the Streamlab Shimmy. I think that was a Meatball fan. There's only 12 months in a year, and the issue is like if you've got to if you're already midway through development or you're partway through development, it's really hard to add a platform in. Like that's extremely hard. And when developers add platforms in midway, it either creates a big delay because you have to, you have to get everything from there, or it creates lower quality for the game if you try to rush it out so it can catch up development, So that's the biggest problem. And we saw that already with SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy. SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy was added mid-development for the PS4 version of the game. And they really wanted to get it out day and date. Nintendo went to them and said, hey, we need this game day and date. And they said, okay. And then what happened to that game? 30 frames per second. For a game that should have no business running in 30 frames per second, runs in 30 frames per second because it needed to be day and date with the PlayStation 4 version of the game. So, but now you got a game that runs in 30 frames per second. A fighting game that has no business running in 30 frames per second is running in 30 frames per second on the Switch. And it's like, I would have much preferred them to just put the PS4 version out and then put the Switch version out later. So people who are always talking about day and day, get it out right now. Like, you're going to get a worse quality game. You're not going to get a game that's as good as quality if you do that, if you rush it. So, I mean, and they talked about that. They obviously they didn't tell all the, the details and everything. But they said it was extremely difficult to add in the SKU mid-development. Like it just jacks things up. So I think that's what a lot of users don't understand, when it comes to a lot of these games that are coming out at this point. They've been in development for 2-3 years. Switch wasn't on the radar, Switch hasn't even hit its 2-year mark yet. You know what I'm saying? So Switch wasn't on the radar back then. You had to have, the only way that you could have got maybe those games is that if you 100% believed in the Switch from when Nintendo first walked it and showed you before there was any sales numbers, before there was any sales data, you believed and committed and you got the budget from the publisher to get that extra version done, then that's the only way that you could have had some of these newer games that are coming out on the Switch day and date and a acceptable quality. But that wasn't going to happen. Who's really playing fighting games on the Switch? Smash is all you need. I think there's a lot of people playing fighting games on the Switch. Pokken Tournament sold over 1 million. Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, from what I understand, did really well on the Switch in terms of compared to the other versions of the game, PC and PlayStation 4. I think there's a lot of people playing other stuff. Now, obviously, it's not as much as Smash Brothers. I mean, I see what you're saying there, but I mean, there's still definitely other people playing, different fighting games on the Switch and stuff. So, yeah. Let's see. Mr. Pete 1985 says, I was skeptical of the Switch before my brother got one and I saw it in action. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people were, let's see. He said, I don't think God Eater is going to sell well on PS4 and PC. There are a lot higher profile games releasing in February like Anthem, Metro, Exodus, and Far Cry New Dawn. The Informed Gamer, I hate to break it to you, my man. And I know you're trying to sound like you're informed on the games and stuff, but God Eater, God Eater already, okay, so I see what you're saying. You mean sell well in the West. Is that what you mean? Sell well in the West? Because the game was already out in Japan. So, I mean, I think you meant sell well in the West. Okay, so I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. For the Western audience, I got it. Well, God Eater never sells, like, really well in the West anyway. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I mean, but God Eater didn't... It sold okay in Japan, but it definitely didn't do as good, I mean, as it could have done if there was a Switch version. But I understand, like, this game, God Eater, was in development for more than 3 years, So, I mean, there's no way they were going to add. I mean, there's no way they were going to add in a Switch version out of nowhere. Now they're going to. I think they're going to port it over. They're going to port God Eater in some way, shape, or form is coming to Switch. I mean, I would think God Eater 3. From what I understand, it's Unreal Engine 4. God Eater 3 is. So I think it's going to come over. They just need to make sure that they get a quality port. Where's Dragon Quest Builders 2 should be February? Nintendo's picking up Dragon Quest Builders 2, so, I mean, I don't know if it should be February, but it's not, so, I mean, it's not, so, what's up, Chuba? How you doing today, my man? Let's see, God Eater's different, though, it'll always have a cult following. Yeah, and I understand that. I said that. I said that it never really sold huge anyway, but I mean, like, here's the issue here, guys. Let me tell you guys what God Eater. So let me give you guys a little sample of what I'm talking about, so I'm not just like you guys think I'm just making stuff up. So if you look at God Eater 2, okay, So God Eater 2 back in 2015, God Eater 2 launched on the PS Vita, all right, and the PlayStation 4. God Eater 2 sold 234,180 units in its first week of sales on the PS Vita, and then it sold another 37,824 units on the PlayStation 4. So remember that number, guys. 234,180 units in its first week. Now, if you go over to God Eater 3, let me go over to God. So if you go over to God Eater 3, God Eater 3 launched on the PlayStation 4 back in December of 2018. So the PS4 has a bigger install base than the PS Vita in Japan. Okay, so it has a bigger install base than the PS Vita. So it's not like you're lacking systems compared to what you had years ago, 3 years ago on the PS Vita. And God Eater 3 sold 150,523 units total in its first week of sales in the holiday season. In the holiday season last year. So you can't sit here and tell me you're talking about a, what is that, 50, 60, 70, 80, that is a 80,000 unit drop off from your top SKU. An 80,000 unit drop off. And even if you combine the sales that the game got on PS4 beforehand, so like the 30-something thousand, it still doesn't even crack 200,000. God Eater's always been a 200,000 unit plus first week seller in Japan. I mean, for this type of game, 80,000 units plus, I mean, almost 90,000 units, that's not a joke. I mean, that's millions of dollars in revenue. You know what I'm saying? Like, in a full price game, right? So, I mean, we can just do the basic math here. Let's just go with 50. That's $4.5 million. If they're making 50 off of it. You know, that's $4.5 million less that you made because you didn't have a PS Vita version. You know what I'm saying? Or because you didn't have you didn't have a portable version of the game. People aren't trying to play the game. People aren't trying to play the game, you know, not portable. People want to, this is obviously a franchise that people want to play. So it's not like I'm just making stuff up here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm actually saying, well, look at the game. Like, PS4 has more sales in Japan than it did 3 years ago, you know, than the PS Vita had 3 years ago. And you see a huge drop off. And it's not because of the quality of the game either. Like, people, oh, what about the quality of the game? No, the quality of God Eater 3 is good. It's not a bad game. It's actually, many people feel that God Eater 3 is better than God Eater 2 by a good amount. So it's not like the quality of the game dropped off or there are any type of issues with shipments or anything like that, you know? It's portability. You know, people really want that for God Eater because it's a grindy, gotta play on my TV all day type of game. And the reason why he's talking about, like, Japanese users are talking about this is because a lot of them can't sit there on their damn TV and play all day. Like, Japanese households and how they do things, a lot of Japanese users only have like one TV in their house, right? So they can't be sitting there playing God Eater all night, you know, and they've got, you know, they go to school a lot there in Japan, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're at school for a lot of the day, Monday through Saturday, you're at school. So, I mean, you might want to get some, right before you go to bed, you know what I'm saying? When the mom closes the door, you want to get some God Eater in when she ain't looking. You know, you can't go to the TV and play it. You know, you can't do that. A lot of people, there's a lot of kids out there. There's a lot of teenagers out there. They're like, man, it'd be nice if I could just play God Eater like I used to play it. You know, lying down in my bed before sleep, you know. So, I mean, it's a problem. It's a problem. Now, maybe it's not a problem for a lot of us here in the West because a lot of us just have our own TVs and, you know, stuff like that. But in Japan, it's definitely an issue. It's definitely an issue. I guess it's getting a little bit better, though. More people are, you know, picking up TVs in Japan and having it in their rooms. But there's still a lot of one TV households where portability is very important. Or even like, because you're at school, right? You finish school, you go to the library afterwards to study, from what I understand. And sometimes they hang out and play some games, you know, before they go to the library and study and before they go home for the night and eat dinner and all that. So, I mean, like, it's just to not have that to where it's stuck on a PC, like, nobody gives a damn in Japan about a PC game, you know, it's stuck on PC. It's like nobody's playing that on PC in Japan. So, I mean, And then like the PlayStation 4, obviously there's that, but I mean, you see the big drop off, and that's the reason why, you know. So let's go ahead and get into you guys' thoughts. What you guys have to say here. Let's see here. Is God Eater like a Monster Hunter type like game? Yeah, it's like a Monster Hunter like game. It's not. It's definitely more RPG though. But yeah, you do hunt huge bosses and team up with friends and grind away for like hours on end and get ranked missions. So yeah, it's very much like a Monster Hunter style of game, just more RPG than Monster Hunter, I would say. I like God Eater more than I like Monster Hunter. You know, if I'm going to pick one, I'm going to pick God Eater. I'm going to pick God Eater over Monster Hunter. But that's just personally me. I know a lot of people like Monster Hunter more than God Eater. Obviously, Monster Hunter is way more popular. But I personally like God Eater more than I like Monster Hunter. Let's see here. Yeah, it's a big difference. Michelle Tech, what's up, Michelle? How you doing today? Let me get that donation. I think there was a music request tied to it. Amiibo fan with the $1 and says play Road Less Taken from Persona Q. Okay, thank you Amiibo fan. I appreciate the dollar donation, my man. And I will play Road Less Taken. It's Persona Q2, right? Okay. All right. Here we go. We turn it down just a little bit. How's it sound, guys? Is it too loud? Not loud enough? Let me know. It's a nice song. All right, Amiibo fan, you are also the top stream ninja with that dollar donation, so thank you so much, Amiibo fan. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Japan wants the portable option is why Dragon Quest Builders 2 is selling more on Switch, because you can play it anywhere. Makes me wonder how the PS5 will do in Japan. The PS5's not going to do very well in Japan, but we already know this. But yeah, it's not about Japan for PlayStation. It's about the West. Jonathan Slocum says, as a 33-year-old dad, I appreciate being able to... Let me turn it down just a little bit. All right. As a 33-year-old dad, I appreciate being able to play handheld. I would play more Monster Hunter World. I'll play Monster Hunter World more if I could play it handheld. Yeah. God Hunter, Breath of the Mario. Yeah, exactly. Tension. Breath of the Mario and God Hunter. They're sequels to each other. Paint Fat Purple says, player essence. Oh, Switch Mini is going to destroy Japan with Pokemon. Yokai Watch 4 and Dragon Quest 11 coming out. If the Switch Mini is real, I mean, I would think that would be an option to do, right? And even Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is going to sell more than all of those games but Pokemon. So yeah, Animal Crossing too. But yeah, if there is a Switch Mini, I think that it would be a good idea. And then also different colors of the Switch Mini. I think that'd be a good idea too. You think we're gonna get a Persona game? Maybe. Let's see here. Let's see. Budsy said, I'd rather Koei Tecmo port or make new Tokiden for Switch. For instance, I know I'm in the minority though. Rather, but these are two different companies though. I mean, like, I think Tokiden can come too, and also, you know, God Eater as well. They should both come over. You know, it shouldn't be one either or. It should be both, to be honest. So yeah. They need to bring MMOs to Switch, in my opinion. We got a really crappy MMO that just launched on the Switch. Check it out. It's free to play. Like Oniri Girl or something like that. I don't know if MMOs are a great fit, but, you know, there's some MMOs out there. But yeah, it'd be cool if there's more. I'm not a huge fan of MMOs though. Not a huge fan myself, but I can see why, you know, you would want some more MMOs on the system. Any other thoughts or comments on this, guys? Feel free to ask some questions if you guys have them. Okay, well, not random Smash questions though, guys. Not random Smash questions, please. Wait till the end for those super random questions. Let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, shall we? Next, we got an ESRB rating for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. It's been rated by the ESRB. Let's go over the ESRB rating for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. What's up to Dustin Cook with the subscription? Dustin Cook, thank you so much for joining the Ninja Village. What's good, man? Thank you. Appreciate that. Everybody in the chat, please welcome Dustin Cook to the stream. All right, so here's the ESRB rating summary for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which this usually means, guys, when you get an ESRB rating, that means the game is close. There's going to be a release date announcement soon, or we're going to hear about a release soon. So, quote, this action role-playing game in which players assume the role of Miriam, a cursed orphan who must battle her way through a demon-infested castle. As players traverse side-scrolling environments, they use swords, spears, pistols, and whips to battle fantastical creatures. For example, harpies, spiked armor, demon-like birds, rodents, dogs, and melee-style combat. In one sequence, players encounter a boss character emerging from a bathtub full of blood. Her magic attacks can cause blood to drain down on players and stain the walls and ceilings. Another sequence depicts an impaled corpse with blood flowing heavily into a large fountain pool. The game also depicts a topless female boss creature, no discernible nipples. That last part is the funniest part. That last part, no discernible nipples. I mean, like no discernible nipples on there. So, so there you go. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. It seems like it's going to be coming out sometime very soon. Sometime very soon. You guys like the no spoilers? That was actually in the demo, right? I think that was in the demo. So, not really spoilers. Well, I guess the nipple part. Spoiler for that. Are they going to add them or not? Which one? Oh my gosh! Really important that the nipples are not discerned. Really, very important. That's very, very important. The game is rated M. The game. Oh no! The game is rated T. The game is rated T. They just got away. If they added the nipples, then it would have been rated. It would have been rated M. But there's no nipples, so it's rated T. So it's rated for blood and partial nudity and violence. I think that's really the reason why it's not rated M. Because they're like, it was going to be rated M, and then they removed the nipple, and then they got to a T rating. Because it says partial nudity, right? So full nudity would be if it's an actual full. But it's just partial nudity because it's not, I guess there's not one there. I mean, I'm not really sure how that works with the ESRB, but there you go. There you go. It's rated T. It's rated T. It's not rated M. It's rated T. It's rated T. So there you go. And that's actually a really big deal between rated T and rated M. This game definitely skirts the line of whether it's going to be rated T and whether it's going to be rated M. So for them to get it to a T rating is very important because now a 12-year-old can walk in and buy the game compared to now having to be 17 years old in the US. Now I don't know how it is for like the PEGI and everything like that, but it's a big thing here in the US because a kid, like I said, kids, they got their money and they're going to go out. If they see this game, they're going to go out there and buy it. But a lot of parents probably wouldn't buy this game for their kids. Like when they see it and they look at it, a lot of them probably wouldn't buy it for them. So that's very important to get that T rating. Very, very important. Let's see. That's why the game took so long to come out. Yeah, because if they were really debating on the nipple or not. That's really what it comes down to. Really what it comes down to is whether or not they were going to add the nipple or not. So it makes sense. It makes sense. Okay, you guys are asking all sorts of random questions here. Do you think the Switch Mini will come with a dock? If they do, would it think they would have external rails for extra Joy-Cons? I don't know. What do you mean an external dock, extra rails for extra? What do you mean by? I don't get what you're trying to talk about there. What do you mean? If the Switch Mini, if the Switch Mini is actually a thing, let's go ahead and we're just moving to random Q&A, guys. Those are the two pieces of news. You guys are asking me random questions that I don't want to ignore you guys for like another hour or so or whatever. So if you have random questions, I'll answer them. We can kind of just go all over the place. So here's the thing. Here's the thing with this, my man. If the Switch Mini is real, it would probably remove the Joy-Cons, right? And it'd be built into like an actual handheld system. It probably wouldn't come with the dock. And what would be the whole goal of that would be, okay, somebody already has a dock and Joy-Cons in their house, and this is something it's another Switch per household. Or if you just want a cheaper Switch to just play a game like a port, like you don't need all the other stuff. So I don't think it's going to come with any extra rails, extra Joy-Cons. Like if you want Joy-Cons, you can buy Joy-Cons, and you can probably still connect it to that Switch Mini. You'll still be able to connect it to it. You just have to play it in tabletop mode the whole time. So I think that the smart thing to do is you want to make it cheaper, and as much cheaper as possible. So, I mean, I don't think you're going to do anything extra like, oh, let's add some rails somewhere or anything like that. Or, I mean, I don't think it'd come with a dock. I mean, you can make it a lot cheaper if it doesn't come with the dock, but it might come with the dock. Maybe there's 2 options for it to come with the dock and not. But it could. It could. That would be my reasoning, is that it could. But I would guess that it wouldn't come with the dock. And then you'd have to buy the dock separately, because then you can probably shave off like $100 off the price. I mean, imagine if there was a $200 Switch and a $300 Switch. You know, that would be, that would be huge. Or like a $250 Switch and a $300 Switch, you know? So, so yeah, Nintendo did say that they want multiple Switches per household. A simplified cheap Switch Mini would make sense. Yeah, it would make sense. Grubby Cat says, how much longer do you think we have to wait for Bloodstained? I hope it's not going to be next year. Well, no, that's Grubby, that's the whole point of an ESRB rating. Whenever you get an ESRB rating, you're not going to rate a game a year before it comes out, you know? So if they've submitted the ESRB rating, you have to pay for that. So a lot of companies won't submit an ESRB rating and then make changes to that, because if you wait and you add stuff, the ESRB has to reevaluate the game, and then you have to pay again. So what happens is that the ESRB rating comes out, that's usually when the game is finished and they've already submitted. There's not really going to be any changes to the core game, so usually the game will release in the next like few months. Within the next 2 to 3 months, the game will be released after the ESRB rating. So yeah. OJ, make sure to put in current news. Oh, an hour or 2 is too late. Yeah, I know, exactly. An hour or 2. Yeah, there's this guy on Twitter, which, guys, I mean, I don't mind, you know, just to talk about this a little bit, because I know some people have been making jokes about this whole current thing, but there's this guy on Twitter, which, I mean, I don't have a problem if you want to be vocal. I mean, you don't like what I do, you don't feel the quality is up to snuff, or, you know, if you're saying that I'm not getting news out on time, I mean, I get that. I can take criticism, but the problem that I have is that he's saying like, oh, well, all you do is like, you don't ever get news videos up, you know, the same day. It's always a day old, and I'm like, well, no, I usually talk about all the current news topics in live streams, and then I'll talk about them for people who don't watch live streams. I'll talk about them in news videos, because I can't constantly make like 15 different videos a day on news, you know, and like I have to live stream, I have to edit, you know, I have to work to get I mean, it takes a while to produce videos. It's not something that I can just snap my finger, then all of a sudden videos just pop out of nowhere. It takes hours to edit videos. So there's this guy over there that just kept on railing on me. Well, he'd always talk to other people. I've tried to address him directly, like, well, no, I do live streams, I do current news, like I'll drop news, you know, when I can. But for example, like the news about the Switch selling 32 million units worldwide. I mean, I got that news out like a couple hours later. Like I was already about to go to sleep. I edited my PE news video, which took me 3 to 4 hours. And then on top of that, I stayed up even later to edit that news article with the Switch. I mean, that went up like at 2 a.m. or something like that in the morning, you know? So, yeah, there was just some guy that was just saying that I never do anything current and blah, blah, blah. So that's what everyone's talking about, the whole current news stuff. But I mean, I do my best, guys. I mean, sometimes the news is a day later, but that's because, you know, one, sometimes I already talked about it, like the Dark Side of stuff. I already talked about that in a live stream, but 2, because it takes hours to edit videos, you know? So just letting you guys know about that. But yeah, he refuses to address me directly. He'll address other people. He'll talk to other people in the threads, but he won't talk to me. So, I mean, if he continues to do this because he's lying to my users, then I'll say who he is. Then I'll start actually, you know, I'll actually say, okay, well, let's look at this guy. Let me bring up his name, because I'm not going to bring up his name, you know, but if he continues to sit there and lie to my users, that's when I'm like, okay, well, let's address you. And since you're trying to call me out multiple times and lie to my users, we're gonna get you some publicity, and we're gonna call you out. So just letting you know. I mean, I know he's not here, but dude, if you're here, like I need you to stop lying. You know, stop lying to my users. Stop spreading false information. If you don't stop, then we're gonna definitely gonna call you out live. So yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and let's move on. Let's see here. Who cares what they think? Let's talk games. Do what you do. And exactly, it's not about that. My problem is that he's going to other people and he's lying to them. That's my problem. And he's not doing it in a trollish way. He's doing it like in a normal way. Like he's not like, well, he is kind of doing it trollish in some of the stuff. But my problem is that like I don't have a problem with him not liking me or whatever, or I don't have a problem ignoring him. My problem like is that he's talking to other people and lying. That's my problem. That's my issue that I have. Now, and if he's just saying this stuff to me, I'll be like, dude, I'll be like, dude, whatever. You know, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. But my problem is that he's not talking to me directly. He's going to other people and saying these things that are blatantly not true, you know? So yeah. Do we know the price and if there'll be a physical version of Bloodstained? Yeah, we already know that we already know there's going to be a physical version of Bloodstained. Yeah, that's already been confirmed. The price is it's a $60 game. At least that's from what I think. It's a $60 game, but it might not be. I have to double check on that. I know I paid $60 for a physical version of the game, but that was before they had a publisher, which was 505. So 505 might make it cheaper, but I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I think at the minimum, I think it's going to be $49.99. I would think for it. So yeah. Yeah, you missed the Bandai Namco news. Aiden Quinn, Bandai Namco, they're listening to people that want God Eater 3 on the Nintendo Switch. So God Eater 3 or God Eater games are probably going to come over to the Switch at some point this year. Let's see, does Final Fantasy VII need a new ESRB rating? No, it doesn't. Yeah, exactly. It's one thing to be critical, and that's fine. I mean, some of the news is a day older, but a lot of YouTubers do that. I mean, me and John both do news that's sometimes a day, because like we have to get the last day's news up and the previous one, and then sometimes we do videos like that day, like, hey, this just happened, you know. So sometimes we do that. Sometimes we just get like refreshers. Not everybody has all day to be looking at video game topics. So some people don't get news that same day. Some people don't mind waiting till the next day and say, okay, well, here's the news and here's how it's laid out. You know, like it's not. For some people, it's not that big of a deal. Now, if a news is breaking, then I do that in my live streams. Like this God Eater stuff is brand new, guys. Like this hasn't been up for like a couple days or anything. This just dropped today with the interview. So I do live streams. Other news YouTubers will do just like shorter videos, like minis. You know, I used to do minis as well. You know, everybody has their own way of getting, you know, the news that needs to get out quicker. But then there's also stuff that's like a little bit older, you know, because everybody doesn't have all day to be looking at video game news, you know. So yeah. That's essentially what it comes down to. But yeah, I agree with you. Like it's one thing to be critical, but it's another thing to lie about another person and not addressing the person directly. Exactly. If you have some feedback or whatever, I'm all ears. But like to be going to other people and complaining and be saying certain things when I'm literally quoting his tweets and saying, "Hey, let's talk directly." That's fraudulent, and that's really just being a, you know, just being a wimp. I don't know. I mean, I would say the B word, but I don't want to get demonetized. But really, it's just kind of being that way. I mean, that's not how a man addresses another man. I mean, if you have an issue, that's not how anybody addresses any adult. If you have an issue, that's fine. Come to me. I mean, I'm right here. Talk to me. Talk to me right there. I mean, I'm trying to talk to you. He won't. He'll just go and like skirt around me. So that's the problem. So I don't really respect people like that. Let's see here. Aiden Quince's questions. Some time ago, there was a rumor back then that King of Fighters 15 Samurai Spirits was going to Switch. Was that deconfirmed? Asking because I'm pretty sure it was, but my mind is hazy. Yeah, it was kind of deconfirmed, but not 100%. Like, I still think that King of Fighters could come over based off of what SNK is doing, but I don't know if it was 100% deconfirmed. I think there was definitely some haze. It's a bit hazy whether it was real or not, but we'll have to wait and see. Hey, I'm late. It's okay, Mandy. You're not too late. We're not even an hour into the podcast yet, and we played music for 10 minutes, so we've only actually got 38 minutes of content. Oh my gosh, you guys are showing me some shout outs to Mr. OG OMG Net talking about my Dragon Mark for Death review. Oh God, calm down, Jonathan. Yo, shout outs to Flip999. Flip Mode is here. What's good, Flip Mode? How you doing today, my man? Good to see you here. Falling in love with Mandy. Oh, Mandy, you have some secret admirers. Well, not so secret admirers here. Oh man, everybody falls in love with Mandy. Let's see here. Lord Kamo says the Switch Mini would not need a dock. The PSP can be played on TV with a cable. Yeah, but what cable would that be though? Like Nintendo hasn't made a cable hasn't made a cable to connect to the Switch, like connect to a TV. So why not just make it playable on a dock? You know, if people already have extra docks, people already have docks. So I mean, like I think that it would still need a dock. I think it still would, because why make a whole separate cable? Like you'd have to make a USB. A USB-C to HDMI. That's what it would have to be, a USB-C to HDMI cable. But why even do that when you can just use a dock? You know, that's already you're already selling docks. Millions of people already have docks. Just make it connect to the TV via dock. So yeah. Yeah, that was a wrong face, man. We need more Art Electronic videos. Art Electronic, man, he did a big promotion. You guys need to give Art Electronic, it's his weekend off. Art Electronic does not work on the weekends, by the way, guys. He doesn't work on the weekends. He only works Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. sharp. That's Art Electronic does not spend a minute more or less there, because you know what I'm saying. Like Art Electronic, he's a full-time staffer, full-time dedicated staffer at EA. So he's got this weekend off. You know, your boy OJ. You know, he's got to work on I got to work on the weekend. But Art Electronic, nope. Don't got to work on the weekend. Don't got to work. So yeah, man. I wanted to smash Art E. Oh, man. Gintoki Cruz, this person's with the rendition of the Switch Mini not having removable controllers. Do you think a mini dock would have the rails for extra Joy-Cons? No, there's no need for a mini dock. There's no need for a mini dock at all. Basically, how you would power your Joy-Cons, or what you would do to power the Joy-Cons, that's something that you just do on your regular Switch. That's not something that you do with the Switch Mini. It doesn't need to have a dock with rails to power Joy-Cons, because if it wouldn't come with the dock. That would be the thing. Now, if it comes with the dock, then yeah, then there might be something to where you can slide some Joy-Cons on, but you're buying the system without Joy-Cons. So what does the dock that comes with the system, what does it need options for Joy-Cons? When if you're buying a Switch Mini, it's to play the game portably handheld. So Nintendo, I would guess that Nintendo would assume that you don't need a dock with Joy-Cons on this one, because you either one have a separate dock or or you have another way to power your Joy-Cons, you know? So that's what I would guess. Jay Barker says, didn't mean to write that. Stupid damn phone. That you just said eat. You just eat. That's just eat. That line reminded me of what you said is, I didn't mean to write that stupid damn phone. That reminded me of you guys ever watched a show called Daria? You know, the show that was on MTV. Daria Morgendorffer and her dad. Stupid damn phone. Stupid damn this. Ah! Like, you know, so that line just reminded me of Daria's dad, of Mr. Morgendorffer. Oh my gosh, that's old school reference. Kimpachi says, Parsons, no, the problem with a single cable is the Switch needs to be connected to a charger when the TV mode, because the CPU and GPU work harder. There you go. That's also another thing there. That's also another thing as well. Exactly. So that was a great show. I watched Daria. Yeah, Daria's good. I mean, you said that you're 33, so if you're in your 30s, you definitely watch. Daria is definitely a show. Or if you're 30s or 40s, you definitely watch Daria. Now, if you're in your 20s, if you're in your mid to early 20s, you probably didn't watch Daria. But if you're in your 30s or older, Daria was super popular when I was young. When I was in preteen, teenage years, Daria was extremely popular. It's not around anymore though. So, yeah, it was a spinoff from Beavis and Butthead, which was legendary. Yeah, it was a spinoff from Beavis and Butthead. They took that one. I think she made a couple she was like she had like a couple cameos in that in Beavis and Butthead, and then they just took in, like, she moved, like, apparently she moved away from where Beavis and Butthead were, and then they started their show. And I think there was one time she referenced where she used to live, or the show referenced where they used to live, because the first episode is them moving into the town. So yeah. Yeah, she was a classmate of Beavis and Butthead. She was like the super smart classmate of Beavis and Butthead that she got annoyed with them. Eileen Jimenez says, what kind of accessory do you think we get if we get a Switch Mini? I have a feeling that there would be a case for it that doubles as a dock. I don't know if we get any accessory or anything, to be honest. I mean, there might be some extra stuff, but I'm not really sure if there'd be anything that doubles as a dock or anything, guys. I think Nintendo would just be like, okay, if you want to play, use the dock, you just buy the extra dock that we have, or, you know, that's that. But, I mean, I don't know. You said Hank Hill was from Beavis and Butthead too? Was he? Everything's from Beavis and Butthead. What? Let's see. Most of your audience has no idea what you're talking about of Daria. LOL. Yeah, probably. Probably. But I think a lot of people know what Beavis and Butthead are, though, so. Let's see. I nominated OJ for King of Funny podcast thing. Oh, it's King of Funny, not Kind of Funny podcast thing. Yeah, the chances of me being on there are probably slim to none. But thank you. Thank you for nominating me, guys. I appreciate it. Maybe I'll do a video. Maybe I'll do a hype video to nominate me to go work for them. That'd be cool. Maybe that's like a once-in-a-lifetime type of opportunity. Acoustic Dude says, never watched Daria. You should watch it. It's pretty good. It wasn't actually Hank Hill. They called him Mr. Anderson. But was it the concept of Hank Hill, though? Matthew Jenkins? Mr. Anderson was Hank Hill. Okay, Mr. Anderson was Hank Hill. Oh, I know what you got. I remember. Okay, now I remember. Yeah, you're right. That definitely was Hank. Yeah, I remember now with Beavis and Butthead. My parents didn't let me watch Beavis and Butthead, though, so I don't remember. The show's kind of hazy to me because I was not allowed to watch Beavis and Butthead. Like, my parents would not. I mean, it was just, we weren't allowed to watch it, so I didn't watch it. I mean, when it came on, like, I would be like, oh, snap, it's on, you know? Like, you know, I would just be like, uh-oh. You know, like, I hope mom doesn't come home because I'd watch. But, I mean, it wasn't like I liked the show anyway when I was a kid. And even after, when I got older and I was able to watch the show, I wasn't in love with the show even afterwards. So it's not like I was like, oh my gosh, I love Beavis and Butthead even after, like, you know, I could watch the show when I was in my teens and I could watch the show. It's not like I was like, oh my gosh, the show is so great. So, I mean, I didn't really care too much for Beavis and Butthead, although I do recognize it's a good show. Gintoki Cruz says, with God Eater 3, do you think the Switch ever get Code Vein? Well, any Bandai Namco Unreal Engine 4 game is possible on Switch, yeah. You watch Do America in theater? That's how you know that's how you know you grew up in the, like, you grew up in the 90s, dude. If you watched Do America, I think that was 2000s, but if you were excited to go watch that movie in the theater, yeah, that's how you know you were a 90s kid. You're a 90s kid. If you actually... Oh my gosh. Player etiquette. No, the day that I become player Etika is the day that I get up and I'm wearing I'm live streaming and I'm wearing dun-dun-duns like Etika. I like Etika was that day. That's the day I become that. Let's see here. That's because you didn't watch it when you were young. I did watch the show. I did watch the show, but I didn't like it when I was young. I only watched it sometimes, and I didn't necessarily like it even when I did watch it. I didn't really like it. And the show's not really for kids anyway. It's a show for teenagers and adults. So even if I watched it later, you know, it's not a show for kids. It's really not a show for kids. So when I watched it later in my teens, I didn't really think it was that good either. So it's not like, oh, well, because I didn't watch it when I was like super young, all of a sudden I didn't like it when I was able to watch it later in my teenage years. I didn't really like the show too much in my teenage years either. And it's a show for teenagers and adults. So you said you'd also need to grow your... I can't grow my hair as tall as Etika's. I really can't. My hair can get maybe to about maybe like right here, but my hair is really curly. But I don't know if I can grow my hair as long as Etika's. Remember the music videos? What are those? Well, the music videos were in Beavis and Butthead for promotion of MTV. So that's the reason why they were in there. The show was built around that. To promote music videos, also to give it some style, like some edge to it. You know, back then it was really popular. I mean, Daria was the same thing. Daria had like, not necessarily like full, but it had like actual music from musicians, you know, in there, like licensed music, which they had to remove a lot of the licensed music in the DVD box set, which I do have, and I've watched a ton of it, all of it actually. They had to remove the music from there. So I mean, a lot of the early MTV shows or the 90s shows like that, like a lot of them tried to incorporate music into it because that was like the edgy hip thing to do, you know, incorporate like live music or incorporate up and coming bands or whatever the case is in your shows. So that was just, I mean, they don't do that as much anymore, but that was something that used to happen like a lot with a lot of TV shows, like to kind of appeal to the teenage year, like that generation of users out there. So high top essence, curly gang, yeah. Let's see here. Etika's hair can be a stage in Smash. That's true. Since you're like Etika but wiser and uploads consistently. I don't know if I'm any wiser than him. Etika's a smart guy. Etika's definitely an intelligent guy. We're definitely different people though. I mean, I do know more. I mean, obviously we have mutual friends. And Etika, well, I'm older than him, so I mean, it's just, that's the thing. Like Etika's 20. He's turning 29 this year. He's 28. He's turning 29 this year. You know, I'm not that much older than him. I'm about 3 years older than him. So, but yeah, Etika's he's very popular. He's very successful, man. The guy's doing his thing. So yeah, man. 1v1 me on flat top essence, no items. 1v1 Fox only, flat top essence. Does donations show up on stream? Donations do show up on stream. They do, Yuma World. I think Meme says player, in order to be Etika, you have to drop the chic for Robin, LMAO, and be a waifu lover. I like me some waifus. And I used to be a Robin main in Smash 4. When the game first came out, I was Wii Fit Trainer and I was Robin in Smash 4. I used Sheik too. Like Sheik, I kind of I was picking up Sheik. I was playing Fox, Robin, Wii Fit Trainer, Sheik. I was playing a bunch of different characters at the beginning of Smash 4. So too bad he only streams 4 times a year. He doesn't only stream 4 times a year. Do the Arsenio Hall. Okay, Arsenio Hall. Bro, I'm all about the Game & Watch. Okay, Game & Watch. Etika loves Minecraft says, is Etika good? Wouldn't you know? You are, your name is Etika loves Minecraft. Oh man. Nani, I'm still the top stream ninja. You are still the top stream ninja. You are. You are, my man. Yo, Etika's fan base turned on him. Not from what I've seen. Some of them did maybe, but not all of them. Let's see. Tension 2002 says, "Persons, if Switch Mini is coming, what size do you reckon it would be?" Well, I don't know. I don't have any like measurements, but I would think that it would be the same size as from here to here. That would be the actual size of the system, maybe, like about from like here to here, and then the controllers would attach, and you'd have like a bigger, and like you'd have less of a bezel, like the less of the black borders around, so it'd be more screen, and it'd be smaller, and it'd be thinner. So it'd be maybe a little bit thinner across here as well, so just a little bit thinner. So that's what I would guess would be it. Let me turn off. Let me turn off my system. I thought I turned it off. I guess. Yeah, the PS Vita is about that size. Yeah, the PS Vita is about that size. So, Etika mains Ridley now, though. Yeah, I mean, I would guess he would main Ridley, wouldn't he? Because you know he's the one who really wanted Ridley in the game, so he better use Ridley. He better use Ridley. You know, if he mains Ridley. So. What? Shout outs to the donation from is it Hugh G reaction? Rection? Hugh G Hugh G Rection with the $1 donation. And he says, "My name is Hugh G Rection. Nice to meet you." Shout outs, dude. A huge erection. Thank you for the dollar donation, man. I appreciate it. Yeah. Demonetized. Yeah, exactly. Rated PG era. I know. What's with CND in the article on Nintendo losing the Switch Magic? Or not CND, sorry, CNN. It's called clickbait. Eileen Jimenez, it's called clickbait. Yeah, demonetized. Definitely demonetized. Definitely. Anybody with a name like that, you know it's not huge. It's probably a very tiny one. If you have to let people know, it's probably not huge. It's probably tiny. Dollars in the pockets, though. Let's see here. So let's continue on with the questions, though, guys. If you have questions, let me know. Let me know. Ripping bees. Let's see, places can't let it go. Can't let it go, eh? LOL. Nah, I just made a little joke. I just made a little joke, dude. It's all good. If you have questions, feel free to let me know. If you have questions, feel free to let me know. Just having a little bit of fun on the weekend. Dank Meme says, when is World of Light / Spirit Board stream? Dank Meme. You know what, man? It's coming. Don't worry. It's coming. It's coming. Let's see. Hey, so 30 million Switch sold, 32 million, 32.27 to be exact. Damon, Ex Machina, yes. What about God Eater 3 on Switch? Yeah, we talked about that, Dark Cloud. Bandai Namco seems to be, they're looking to maybe port over some not Dark Cloud, God Eater games on Switch. Places, do you think you should continue with the My Way campaign on future games? What is My Way campaign? What does that mean? Thank Meme says, do you know who's winning Genesis so far? There's not really anybody winning Genesis so far. It's a huge tournament, so we have to wait and see. I know MVD won his winners pools, I think. Anti got out of it. You know, Leffen's doing really good, but there's not any winner who's winning Genesis. There's like thousands of people who enter, dude. Psycho Pie says, Master Chief in Smash? Probably not. Mr. Pete says, person's got any pets? My cat scared the crap out of me when playing Resident Evil 2. No, I don't have any pets. I used to have a dog, though. Let's see. Jetty says, person's any news about Dragon Quest Builders 2 heading to the West? Nothing yet. Outside of Nintendo will be handling the publishing duties for the Switch version in the West. I'd watch you Wargroove. Yeah, I'm going to play Wargroove. I'll probably do a review of Wargroove. Let's see here. Smash Cross Mario Kart 8 Deluxe today. Potentially. The only reason why that I couldn't do it this morning is because of my Dragon Mark for Death review. That took way longer than I thought. And I have some important business that I have to tend to this afternoon, and then we have the Spawncast tonight, so we might be able to get it in afterwards, but I'm not 100% sure. But my Dragon Mark for Death review, like I thought I was gonna be able to finish that, like finish everything up like before 10 o'clock. I was up till 3 a.m. doing that review. I played it all night, and I had to edit it, cut together, find all the footage from all the different, like I had to find everything to where I can sync it up with the video. So that's the only issue. So I'm terribly sorry about that. But like I said, I'm going to try to see if we can get some Smash or Mario Kart today. I'm going to try to see if I can fit it in, but I do have some important business to tend to after the live stream. And then of course I have to be on the Spawncast tonight. So if anything, maybe we can get some in the morning before Super Bowl Sunday. in the morning, maybe, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, that Dragon Mark for Death review really kind of jacked things up. Yo, OJ, nosebleed this year. I mean, it might be. It might be. Shout outs to Carl O'Sullivan with the $5 donation. Thank you so much, Carl O'Sullivan. Appreciate that. It says, OJ, random question, but where do you rank Chrono Trigger among best RPGs? I played it for the first time recently and I loved it. I rank Chrono Trigger as the best RPG of all time. That's my thought process with Chrono Trigger. Is the best, in terms of objectively speaking, it's the best RPG of all time. My own personal thought process, it's behind Fire Emblem Awakening, and maybe it's like behind, like, I like, nah. Yeah, no, it's above Xenoblade for me. But Chrono Trigger, it's like, it's right below Fire Emblem Awakening. But objectively speaking, I think it's the best RPG of all time. That's my personal opinion. So, but yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Really good. It's no problem, OJ. If you can't understand, yeah. Like I said, unfortunately, that Dragon Mark. I mean, that was a 14-minute review, so it wasn't just like, I mean, like I could have easily done like a should you buy and then just do like, you know, like just me playing the game and me talking about the game and just clip together some gameplay that wasn't synced up. But I really wanted to sync it up. I really wanted to make sure when I say something, it's lined up in the footage and that I play through and I get a good feel of the game before I say if you should buy it or not. So yeah, I mean, that's essentially what it came down to. But yeah, it took me till 3 a.m. to do that, unfortunately, because of my inexperience with reviews. If I was a better reviewer and if I reviewed games more, it probably wouldn't have taken me as long. Let's see here. Oh, let's get Carl O'Sullivan. Carl O'Sullivan with the $5 donation. You have become the top stream ninja, Carl O'Sullivan, so I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. Top stream ninja as well. Player Sense, could you do a top 10 games of all time? I could. That might be something that I could do. So yeah. Let's see. When do you think we'll see the first gameplay for Joker and Smash? I would think it would be at a Nintendo Direct, like maybe a February Nintendo Direct or something like that, or March Nintendo Direct. Mr. P says, I still got to play Chrono Trigger. Also want to play Tales of Fantasia on the Super Nintendo. Yeah, if you haven't played Chrono Trigger, go out there and play it. Stop what you're doing and go play Chrono Trigger. It's one of the greatest games of all time. Excuse me. Atlas should be done with Persona Q franchise on the 3DS. Yeah, I think that was the last one. They didn't even bother to dub the game in English. There's no English dub on Persona Q2 coming over to the West. It's just Japanese. So just subs, that's it. Acoustic says, I am off this. I am off. This was a good stream. It was good seeing you. All right, man. Take it easy, Acoustic dude. I appreciate the support, my man. Appreciate the support. Keep the questions coming though, guys. If you guys have questions or topics, feel free to let them rip. I can answer questions for a good bit more of time. It's only 11:26 where I'm at. I got something that I got to do a little bit later. But yeah, keep the questions coming. Keep the topics. If you guys have any games that you want to see, let me know. If you have any questions on the industry, I have some pretty good insight on that. I can always give my take on it. So you guys feel free to ask away. In the meantime, I will scour some news feeds to see if there's any recent topics that we can discuss as well. Okay, so there is also a Yokai Watch 3 trailer that just dropped as well. Yokai Watch 3, the story so far trailer. Probably just summarizes the first 2 games. All right, so the Observer for the Switch will launch on February 7th. So that game's interesting. The graphics in that game look kind of crazy. And also, I forgot to mention this. I guess I'll do it in a video. But the PS4 topped 94.2 million in shipments, worldwide shipments, 94. So should hit 100 million this year. So those are the recent headlines. If we get Super Nintendo on Switch, do you think we might see Chrono Trigger? Absolutely, absolutely, it's possible. What badly dubbed game do you have a guilty pleasure on? Badly dubbed game? I don't know if there's any badly dubbed game that I have a guilty pleasure on, to be honest. I don't know if there's a badly dubbed game that I do. Did Sheik get buffed? Yes, I already talked about that multiple times. Yeah. Gamer Bro says, "Parsons, do you think Sega would now, if they were still making consoles? How do you think Sega would be now?" It's hard to say, man. It's hard to say. I'm not really sure how they'd be. I'm guessing they'd be, if they're still making consoles, then they'd be fine, right? You know. T-Dude says, "Have you seen the screenshots of Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled for the Switch?" Yes, I've already seen them. Yes, I have. They're screenshots. Boom, boom, boom. Any other questions, boys and girls? I guess Bayo 3 would be a Sega console exclusive. That would be if Sega was still in the console business, we don't even know if they would have made the deal in the first place to work with Platinum Games to make Bayonetta. So we have no idea. If they were still in the console business, they might have went in a different direction. You have no idea. Bayonetta 3 or Bayonetta might have not even been made. You know, like we don't know what would have happened because Sega picked up the game as a publisher, not as a manufacturer. If they were a manufacturer, would they have even been interested in that game? Would they have not maybe had bigger contracts to do? I mean, we just don't know. That's the thing. So there's no way of saying, oh, well, Bayonetta 3 would be we have no idea how Bayonetta would have even turned out because your thought process and what you pick up as a publisher and as a console manufacturer is completely different. It's not the same thing. So we don't even know if Sega would have even been interested or if it would have even been made. I mean, it could have affected the game even being made. I mean, I don't know. So we don't know if Bayonetta would have even existed if Sega wasn't. I mean, Sega had no effect on Platinum Games and Capcom, which they were Clover. So chances are Chuba says Bayonetta might have never been made. But chances are Bayonetta might have been made because Sega had no effect on what happened with Capcom and Clover. So Hideki Kamiya and what he did with Devil May Cry would have still been there. So Hideki Kamiya's passion for making action games would have still been around. So I think Bayonetta would have been made, but it might have been by a different publisher. It might have been by somebody else. However, if nobody else wanted to pick up Bayonetta, then Chuba could be right. Sega might have been the only person who wanted to fund a game like this. We don't know. We would have to talk to Hideki Kamiya, and if we talk to Hideki Kamiya about it, he'll block us, so we're not going to be able to find that out. But we would have to talk to Hideki Kamiya and say, hey, Hideki Kamiya, or we'd have to talk to Platinum Games and say, hey, was there anybody else interested in publishing Bayonetta? Was there any other publisher or developer that wanted this game? That's what we'd have to figure out. And if there was, then Bayonetta would still be here. Now, if there wasn't, then Bayonetta would never have been made. Or they would have had to go into the self-publishing route. But they wouldn't have had the money to do that. Because I don't think they would have had it. They needed somebody to fund the game. So that's the thing. There's two options. There's one option to where, yeah, you're right, it never would have been made. And then there's another option where we're like, okay, well, maybe it would have belonged to Bandai Namco, or it would have belonged to Koei Tecmo. It would have belonged to some other company instead of Sega. So we would need to know who was interested in the game. Nintendo does not have the rights to Bayonetta. Nintendo has the rights to Bayonetta 2, and Nintendo has the rights to Bayonetta 3. Nintendo does not own the outright copyright of Bayonetta the character. But if you mean by Bayonetta as in like Nintendo has exclusive deal with the Bayonetta character, yes, for those games. But Nintendo doesn't own Bayonetta per se. Let's see here. All right, you guys got some more questions coming through here, so that's good. The guy who usually donated, let's see here. If he wants to upload a reaction to his donation, that's really clout chasing. So I mean, like, you can do it because obviously, you go ahead and do that, but that's like super clout chasing, you know. But go ahead. I mean, that's fine. If you want to do that, go ahead. That's fine. But that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous clout chasing, dude. And I'm probably gonna block you. I'm probably gonna block you afterwards. No, I'm joking. I won't block you, but that's super clout chasing. But go ahead. Let's see here. When will Business Toby come back? I don't know if Business Toby will come back at any point. Like that's such clout chasing, dude. Like, oh, let me make this really low donation so I can get a reaction. Oh, then I'm gonna upload it on my channel. Like, holy smokes, dude. Like, I'm not even like a huge YouTuber like freaking like Etika or like PewDiePie or something like that. Like, to try to clout chase to do that on your channel, I mean, like, I guess go ahead. I mean, any publicity is good publicity, so I mean that's fine. You can do it, but it's like ridiculous clout chasing. Eileen Jimenez says Camilla has a hammer with the word blocked etched into it. Yeah. Omega Chase says 92 says Parsons, is there a chance that Imagipooch, creators of Stellar Glow, would their IPs brought by another company? I mean, I guess. Sure. I wonder how many people got blocked by Camilla. Probably in the high thousands, if not like, yeah, I would probably say at least minimum of around like 3,000 to 4,000 people, maybe. That's what I would think. In the thousands for sure. I don't know. Wait, he said, I remember correctly, he blocked a guy because his girlfriend was cute? What? Yokai Watch 4 will have English subs or voice over. The Japanese version can't wait for the West. Why is that all capitalized? Let's see here. Omega Chase says, why does Camilla block? He gets threats. Camilla blocks people because they don't pay attention to his rules. That's the reason why Hideki Kamiya blocks people. If you don't pay attention to the rules, he'll block you. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at Hideki Kamiya's page, guys. Oh my gosh, let's take a look at Hideki Kamiya's page. So, as I've told you, for 1000000000, I'm still blocking foreign language posts, of course, including English. Be careful. Insects don't understand language and never going to care about what I tweet and just post with knee-jerk instinct. So he doesn't like how people just randomly post stuff. You know, like they don't care about his actual tweets. Like they just post stuff and they just post stupid things, and he gets tired of that. So he just blocks people. I keep stating that I block foreign language posts, of course including English, for a while. That lures a lot of insects to block. Very funny to see. So he baits people. He baits people that are going to say dumb things to him. So he says stuff that's going to bait people to get angry, and then he blocks those people so he doesn't have to block them later. So he just baits people out. So it's like a trap. It's like when... You know, it's like when Hidan got trapped by Shikamaru. You know, he made him believe that there was a, you know, like he was like, no, there was an issue, and then trapped him, but he was fine. So that's what Hideki Kamiya does. Repeat for instincts, as I've told you 1 gazillion times. I'm still blocking foreign languages. Pin tweet. Really fed up with insects that which never read my posts and just keep posting. That's why I'm telling you not to post me in language other than Japanese. If you break this rule, that means you are a brainless insect and will be blocked immediately. Be careful. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I mean, he's told us a million times. I mean, I got blocked, and I know how I got blocked. I remember how I got blocked. I remember I was blocked from Hideki Kamiya's channel, and I didn't notice it for like, or his page, and I didn't notice it for like, years, for like years. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm blocked from Hideki Kamiya. So then I asked Blandrew to ask Hideki Kamiya to unblock me, and he unblocked me. So, and I think I know why he blocked me. He blocked me because there was like an article about like Kotaku saying that Hideki Kamiya doesn't know anything about PC development, and like Hideki Kamiya responded by, you know, by saying like, what's this crap article or this crap site Kotaku? And like, I think I quoted his tweet and I said, yeah, Hideki Kamiya, you know, telling Kotaku this. And I think that's how I got blocked, because I quoted his tweet and said that. I was trying to lend encouragement to him, but I got blocked. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's against his. I mean, he doesn't want people, you know, doing that. Like, I should have just said, like, what I should have done was I should have just responded in his article, like in his tweet. I should have just said, oh yeah, you know, like Kotaku, blah, blah, blah. That's what and like, you won't get blocked for that. But if you clout chase, like if you quote his tweet or like tag him into conversations, that's a way to get blocked. And that's a way of clout chasing, in his opinion. And if you clout chase on his name, you will be blocked. So yeah, it was my fault, you know, it was my fault. So, but yeah, I got unblocked. So yeah. Does Yokai have a lot of content? How many hours does a Yokai usually clock in? Yeah, it has like, it's definitely like a 50-hour plus game. Yokai Watch has a ton of content. Let's see here. Let's continue on here with the stream. So yeah, the artisan, I understood your joke with that when I read it, but I think some people, it's hard sometimes to understand that through text with other people. But I understood your joke, my man. All right. So do you guys have any? Do you guys have any other questions? Feel free to ask them. Feel free to ask them. Eileen Jimenez says, "What sort of sorcery did Blandrew to get you unblocked by Kamiya?" He just asked him, and he said that, hey, you know, OJ, you know, Players has been a big fan of you for a long time. You know, can you please unblock him? You know, and he didn't tag Kamiya. He responded to Kamiya in one of Kamiya's posts. So he didn't quote Kamiya, he didn't tag Kamiya, he just responded in a post, and it got me unblocked. So I'm happy about that. You know, I've been unblocked for a while. My Hero Academia MMO would be cool. Would that be cool? I don't know if that'd be cool or not. I think a My Hero action RPG would be a lot more cool. You only purchase games with 40 hours or more? LOL. Thanks, bro. I mean, for me, as someone who doesn't even finish all the games that I buy, at this point, I don't even really care. Like, if a game is shorter, that's not necessarily a problem for me. But I can understand why. I used to be like you too. Like, I used to only purchase games that had X amount of content because I just didn't have enough, you know, money for games or whatever the case is, or I just wanted to make sure that I that I played that game fully. And you probably still have money for games. It's not that I'm saying that that's the case for you, but I think you probably want to make sure that you get your money's worth for your game. So I used to be just like that as well. Blandrew is Hideki Kamiya. Yeah. Gobora27 says, any chance of Pikmin 4 being a surprise title this year? Well, it wouldn't be a surprise title. Because we already know about Pikmin 4. If they said it's coming out this year, like, okay, well, yeah, it's coming out this year. But yeah, there's definitely a chance that Pikmin 4 does launch this year. But I guess since Nintendo didn't list it in their financials, right, they didn't talk about Pikmin 4 at all. So yeah, I guess it would be somewhat of a surprise. Let's see. I just sell my games when I'm done with them. I keep the ones I truly love. Yeah, you know what? I used to be like that as well, but I mean, I like to have my game collection. So I mean, money's money, and like, but money can be made. You know, like money can be made. It can be, you know, it can be recovered. But the love and the time of having that game is forever lost. You know, so for me, I used to sell my games back too when I was younger, but now I don't. Like if I don't have the money for something, or if I have to wait, you know, or hold off, like I'll just wait. I'll just wait and I'll save up and I'll get it. So the day one culture for me is kind of dead, you know. Like I don't need to have a game day one. Now I work in video games, so some games are you know, have it day one, but the day one for my mindset outside of work, the day one culture for me is dead. I don't have to have stuff day one. I can wait. I can wait for price drops. I can just get the game later, you know. But I like to have my game collection. As I get older, I like to have my game collection, and then someday I can pass it down to grandchild, great grandchild. Like, hey, look at all these games from the old school era. Let me teach you about them. You know, let me tell you about these games. Let me, and then like here, and then you can have these. You know, so I wanna have it as almost like a legacy. You know, pass it down. So that's just my opinion. Like the whole huge game collection. One of these days, one of my great grandchildren or grandchildren is gonna have like this massive game collection of games dating all the way back to 1980 something. You know, I think that'd be pretty cool. You know, if you aren't gonna keep it, just rent it. Otherwise, you're blowing money away. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. It just depends. It just depends on how much like time it takes you to beat the game. Though, like if you rent the game, obviously you might, you know, want to come back to it later or whatever the case is. So it just really depends. But yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, Jonathan. I'm surprised we haven't gotten Type O yet. It's originally on a handheld platform, so we're not on Switch. I just think they don't feel it's necessary to bring over, especially with all the other Final Fantasy games coming over instead. Like, I mean, we have all the other Final Fantasy games, so maybe Type O comes, but I don't think it wasn't prioritized over Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy 10, 10-2 HD Remaster, Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age. Those were more of a priority and would probably sell a lot better. So I don't think it really has anything to do with it being on a handheld system or not. I mean, like, not only that, but like it wouldn't even be the handheld version of the game. It would be the PS4 and Xbox One version of the game. So it would be the console version of Final Fantasy Type O that comes over, not the PSP version of the game. The PSP version of the game is a Japanese exclusive. There's no other one. So handheld or not, it doesn't matter. It'd be the console version of the game. That's pretty wild thoughts, persons. I think I'll keep my games from now on. That's true. I mean, if you need the money to get a different game, then do it. Don't let my own opinion, you know, because you might, I don't know if you have kids or not, Jetty, or if you ever even want kids. So I guess it doesn't matter. If you're not gonna have kids, then, you know, your game collection is just gonna be given to a family member or something like that. Somebody, you know, but like, but yeah, that's kind of how I think of it. Just like one of these days, there's going to be a great grandchild or a grandchild that's just going to get this huge freaking massive collection of systems, of games. It's going to be like a literal, you know, like it's like everything. They're just going to get it, and it's just going to be it's probably going to make their day. It might change their career and what they want to do in life, you know. So that's kind of how I see it. Chrono Cross. I need it. I got Chrono Cross. But yes, it's a wild thought, right? Thinking of like 300 years from now or something like that. And I mean, then again, you might pass down your game collection, then somebody sells it. Then you have a stupid kid that sells it, you know? So then that could happen as well. That could also happen, or get stolen, you know, or something like that. So you never know. Let's see. Even if it's not a family member, I'd be glad to give my collection to someone. That's true. That's true. That's true. Absolutely. Karag3 says, Parsons, do you think we'll get a Yu-Gi-Oh game for Switch anytime soon? I hate dual links and want a full experience with the cards on the go, but I have found nothing in my own research. Yu-Gi-Oh, that's owned by Konami, right? So unfortunately, I don't really have much faith in Konami to do anything. Crit Astro, hey OJ, did I miss anything? Yeah, you kind of missed the whole show so far to this point, but we're in random Q&A, so if you have questions, feel free. I am a changed man-child now. Shout out to Jetty. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, sometimes you have to think about stuff. I mean, I know you're really young too, though. A lot of times, like when you're young, you don't think about what happens later. You know, you're not thinking about kids. You're not thinking, which rightfully so if you're super young. You're not thinking about legacy. You're not thinking about any of that stuff, right? You know, I have a 7-year-old. You know, I'm not old. Obviously, my legacy is still yet to be written. But you know, I am, you know, 31. So you know, like you start thinking about some stuff, right? not enough to get life. I don't have life insurance though. Oh, by the way, guys, you guys want some more life? You guys want some more insight into your life? Don't get life insurance. Like seriously, somebody's going to murder you if you get life insurance. So don't get life insurance. To me, that's a scam. Life insurance, and I know life insurance is paid out for it's worked well, but there are I watch a lot of murder mysteries, and there are too many scams. There's too many people that mysteriously disappear because of life insurance for me to say life insurance is something that you need. In my opinion, I don't think people should get it. I really don't. So yeah. But anyway. So yeah, I'm not old enough to where I'm gonna be like, oh, I need life insurance or anything like that. I hate life insurance. I don't think anybody should get it. Personally, I don't think anybody should get it. Let's see. Do we have Mario Kart after this, or am I too late? The only issue is that my Dragon Mark for Death review took a little bit too late to do. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to get Mario Kart in today. I might. I have to go do something very important, guys, with personal matters. But if I finish that, and if I can get back before the Spawncast starts, we can definitely do it before the Spawncast, or we can potentially do it after the Spawncast. So we could. It just depends. Legacy players, since Legacy Collection. Yeah. Excuse me. Mr. Pete says, I think current gen games, you won't even be able to play physical games in 20 years. Look at Kingdom Hearts 3 missing contents to stop spoilers and other huge updates. I think so, because people will be able to hack certain things. So whatever server or data that was on, it'll be able to be made available like on a flash drive or to where you can upload it. You know, I don't think it's going to disappear completely. Hackers will make sure that it's preserved some way, shape, or form. I wonder how games will be 300 years later. Oh man, dude, I don't even know. I don't even know how they will be. That's almost impossible to judge at this point, you know? If you look at the progress from games and how we've seen them from like the late 70s to this point, it's made a huge evolution. So you can only imagine that in another, even in our lifetime, what our game's gonna be like. Most of us will probably still be around in 30 years from now, you know? So what we'll get, or even 40 years from now, most of us will probably still be around. So even 40 years from now, like what our game's gonna look like 40 years from now? That's even scary right there to think. I mean, let's not even talk about 300 years from now. Let's talk about 30 years from now. What our game's gonna look like? Because think about 30 years ago and how games look. So 30 years ago, that would be 80s, right? So yeah, 30 years ago, that would be like 1988. That was Mario. We had bit sprites, you know. Then look at games now. Then look at that compared to like Anthem, you know. Or like Monster Hunter World. So think 30 years from now at this point, what is the evolution going to be? Law of diminishing returns, VR, HoloLens, all these technologies, are these all going to blend into one thing? Is that going to be to where you walk into a room and you literally play a game by just like, you know, saying jump or going like this and moving your hand or just using your mind to just sit in a room that's completely full of the game? You know, like a game room is actually a game room. Hey, PlayStation 70 or PlayStation, not 70, but PlayStation 8, play God of War 7, you know, and then God of War just boots up across the whole room and like you can just like turn and you can look and like your brain controls the game, you know what I'm saying? Like you're playing that way. Like would it be something crazy like that, dude? I don't know. I'm thinking that is going to be a thing one of these days. Like it's not a TV. Like you actually have like a room that's a game, like a system that's your room. You know, it's like it's your whole room, and like there's like a wall or whatever, and that's how you can play, dude. I'm thinking that's gonna be a thing one of these days. That's gonna be a thing. So like HoloLens is a thing, right? To where you put on these glasses and then it shoots the image out there within the room, and you can play the game right there. So we already have tech that's kind of like that. Now imagine that, but built into like a wall or whatever. Maybe even without the need for glasses, or maybe the glasses are the system and it boots into it and like you see that from there, you know. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff they can do. He said, Jonathan says, games in 300 years will be archaic. Society, as we know, is going to be done in the next 150. So in the next 150 years, society will be done. So that means, you know, kids today have a chance. So if you're born today, you might have a chance to be that age based on modern medicine and techniques that are going to be in the future. So you're saying that kids today potentially don't have a future or nearing towards the end of the humanity? That's interesting. Very interesting way to look at things. Tension says, nah, man, you'll just plug something into the brain and inject experience into your own memory. Ooh. Title not. What happens like when there's a corrupt save file? You just start falling from, oh, you got a corrupted save file. Next thing you know, you got Dreamcast guy's great grandson's like, I'm angry. This Nintendo deleted my dad's memory save file. I'm joking. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. I'm not serious. I'm not serious. They're like, wait a minute. You don't even have the DLC that's on there. They didn't delete your dad's memory. Oh my gosh. If someone hacks your game, you just die. Yeah, man. You just start foaming from the mouth, dude. Eileen says, players, since 30 years from now, when someone dies, they will be digitized into a video game. 30 years? Okay, so that's soon. Yo, that's crazy. Final Fantasy VII, 2040. Yo, let's go. Old man. Yeah, man. Credastra says, player says, I think that in a few years soon, I think consoles will die and you play games in a service like Netflix, Amazon Prime, etc. In a few years? I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I know that, yeah, we're going to get like Netflix for games. Like that stuff we already have, right? We already have Game Pass and all that. Microsoft is really pushing Game Pass and they're making a lot of money. People are signing up for Game Pass. People are, you know, all their first party games are Game Pass. You can just play the game right then and there, you know, which is good, which is fine. So like, you know, yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely a possibility. Absolutely. We're a part of this generation. Once we reach the senior years, these senior apartments will have tons of us gaming. I know, dude. The senior citizens they're gonna be full of gamers. Your mind will be saved to the cloud. So if you do get corrupted, you can just download yourself before that. No, well, that's true, maybe, but maybe it happens. It just starts foaming from the mouth, dude. Players, my great grandson will inherit the God of Mario Kart, God of Mario Kart in the future. The gene is that your bloodline, like your bloodline, Shinobi bloodline passed down the Mario Kart gene. mine is the ninja gene. You know, mine's the ninja gene. So that's what I passed down. Everybody that's in my lineage will have the ninja gene. My daughter has the ninja gene too. So it happens. Just athletic ninja gene just gets passed down. My mom had it too, and my mom's mom had it. We all have just this gene for athletics, like that just gets passed down. Doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter each time. My mom was super fast, dude. My mom was like super fast. She wasn't like big into sports because back then women obviously not as much. But when she did play, my mom was lightning. I think my mom probably was faster than me. So, I mean, I got some of her speed, but she might have been faster than me. But she didn't have any type of, like, she couldn't do, like, the 40 or anything. But, like, everybody told me, yo, mom was the fastest person in the village back in the day. Everybody told me that when I went there. Yo, she was quick. So I kind of got that from her. And then my daughter, she's fast. My daughter's fast already. My daughter's fast. So yeah, man. So your offspring can inherit your skills. Oh, yeah, absolutely. 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 Sometimes it's random. Sometimes it's not. Like, I mean, I've seen people who their parents were not athletic at all and they were really good, you know, and that actually happens a lot more than often. Like sometimes like you see athletes and like, for example, like Jeremy Lin, you know, who's a basketball player, right? Like his parents are like, his mom's like 5'5" or something. His dad's like 5'7". Dude's like 6'4". It's like, yo, he didn't inherit that from his parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't inherit his basketball ability. So sometimes it's just random, you know? But other times, yeah, a lot of it is like it's inherited, you know, or it's like you can try to create that, you know? Like, for example, like LeVar Ball, you know, who he has three sons that are all like good basketball players, you know? And he purposefully tried to make his kids in a certain way. He said, okay, I'm going to marry a girl that's athletic and that's tall because I want my kids to be basketball players. And from the beginning, he groomed them to be basketball players. So they just have that gene in them, you know, to be better at basketball. So because he was he was an all right basketball player, but he was more of a football player. So, I mean, it's definitely possible. Like, you know, you pass down that athletic talent, height, skill, but sometimes it doesn't work that way. Sometimes it's random. DNA is crazy. You know, sometimes you don't get that, you know? So it just depends. I know my dad, like, I don't think he was my dad wasn't very athletic. Like, my dad wasn't very athletic or fast or anything like that. And I think that, like, my sisters kind of got that because my sisters weren't really athletic or fast or anything. But me and my brother, we were fast and athletic. So I think that's just kind of how it is. It just kind of just sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't, you know? I bet all of your parents are going to annoy your kids to buy you some games when you reach elderly status. My kids will be trash. You never know that. Let's see, my successor better learn the way of the Toby. It's like breeding with Eevee and Ivy training in Pokemon. Well, yeah, with LeVar, yeah, I was like breeding, dude. He's like, oh, well, like, he's going to, you know, like his wife is like 6'1" or 6'2". She was like a volleyball player, you know, so like he wanted to make sure that when he does have kids, like, you know, they're going to be tall, they're going to be athletic, you know? So that's the best way of doing that. Like, and I know that, like, you guys know, like, the basketball player Yao Ming. That's how Yao Ming was, like, set up. Like, in China, they said, hey, you're tall, you two get together so we can produce a tall kid, like, produce potentially, like, a basketball player. So that's kind of how it was with Yao Ming. And obviously Yao Ming is 7'6", you know, so so it worked. It worked in that situation. So yeah. Tall plus tall equals extra tall. I think that's the one thing that's kind of like guaranteed. If you have two tall people and you have a child, that kid is probably going to be really tall. Whereas sometimes if you're tall and you get with somebody that's shorter, the kid could not be tall. The kid could end up short. I mean, Michael Jordan is a perfect example of that. You know, tall, wife, kind of short, kids, none of them 6'6" or over. You know, they were all 6'1", 6'2". None of them were 6'6" though. None of them were as tall as Michael Jordan, you know? So it's always although sometimes it works exactly the opposite. You have a guy that's like Ben Simmons, right? He's a point guard for the Philadelphia 76ers. You know, dad was a tall basketball player, wife super short. Ben Simmons 6'10". So sometimes you get a little lucky. You get a little bit lucky. But however, Ben Simmons' siblings are not tall. You know, they were not as tall as him. So it's random. So if you get with somebody a lot shorter, it's random. You might get that gene of your dad or whatever, or whoever's tall in the family. You might not. You might not get it at all. You know, so it just depends. I'm tall. My wife is short. My kids are super tall. Yeah, so they got lucky. So they got that. But they could have been short. You know, they could have, like, for example, like me, like I got lucky, and my brother, we got lucky because my parents aren't very tall, but I'm taller than both my mom and my dad. My brother is taller than both my mom and my dad. You know, so we got lucky. Me and my brother did in particular. We could have been a lot shorter. We could have been 5'1" or something like that. Which I don't care. Even if I was, I wouldn't care. But, like, I'm just saying, like, it's random. You might be, you might not be, you know? But usually too tall will produce tall. Like, that's the fact, you know? I have no parents or siblings who are over 6 foot. Crit says, my grandson will inherit all of my broken skills in Fire Emblem, like Gale Force, Deathblow, Astra, Amplitude, Paragon, and Renewal. Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's see. If I ever have kids, I do know they'll have some serious hops potential. Yeah, be more because like you have a really big vertical, right? Yeah, could be. Could be. My dad is tall and my mom is super short and I'm like average height. Well, yeah, that's what happens. Sometimes it's like you split the difference. A lot of times you split the difference when you see that, you know? Because you're going to get 50 from your dad, 50 from your mom, and then there's going to be like a factor that kind of they're going so then it's going to mix and then something happens, you know? So so yeah, which is fine. There's not a problem with being short. If you're short, there's not a problem. If you're short, you're short. I'm short. You know, that's not a problem. There's nothing wrong with it. You fit into beds easier. It's easy. You can get different types of cars. There's many advantages of being short. There's many advantages of being tall. There's many advantages of being average height. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's meant, once again, what's inside here. I will pass down the gene at talking trash in Mario Kart and Smash. I really hate playing against you. Like, I never get so like Smash Brothers. I'll play against Chuba. I'll get clotheslined a million times with Incineroar or whatever the case is. That's fine, you know, and I won't get upset. But like playing against Chuba in Mario Kart is just more infuriating than I would even think. I don't know why. It just is. Gene Essence. Monolith Soft is continuing to hiring spring during 2019. Yeah, they're making new games, so of course, absolutely. My grandchildren will inherit Bowser's Side B special or Chrom's Up special. Oh my gosh, either one. Yeah. Mr. Pete says, places, I'm the tallest of my brothers. My mom would always call me when she couldn't reach something. Nice. Let's see. Chuba's children will use heavy characters only in the future Smash games. Yeah, exactly. Only heavies. Bowser's only. Bowser, Incineroar's only. Yeah. Oh man. Muggsy Bogues was 5'3", still could dunk. Yeah, the fact that Muggsy Bogues even got to the NBA was just, I say Muggsy Bogues is the greatest basketball player of all time. If you're 5'3" and make it to the NBA and have a 14-year career, that you're the greatest basketball player of all time. I wonder what if Muggsy Bogues was like 6'3", how good he would, like how much better he would have been. Let's just say everything was the same. He still had the same passion, the same determination, same passing skills, same ability to steal the ball. Everything was the same, but he was like 6'3" or 6'4". How much better would he have been? Muggsy Bogues is the greatest basketball player of all time. 5'3" and you're in the NBA for 10 plus years, you're the greatest basketball player of all time. Not Michael Jordan, it's Muggsy Bogues. Yes. All right, take it easy. We're pretty much done with the stream, guys. We have 8 more minutes. I like to have the streams for 2 hours, so the stream will be finished in about 2 hours. Or sorry, the stream will be finished in about 8 minutes. I like to have the streams for about 2 hours. We're at an hour 52 on the stream. So take it easy, Jetty. Thanks for coming out to the stream, my man. Yeah, I know what you meant, T-Dude. I know there's a typo, but I know what you meant. Yeah, time flies when you're having fun, right? No, let's go for. I can't. I've gotta be somewhere in a bit. I would love to go for 2 more. I would like to play Mario Kart. Actually, it'd be dope if we can just roll right into Mario Kart. But I've gotta be somewhere in a bit. So I can't. So I've got 7 more minutes of questions. All right, PB, take it. Yeah, man. Wait, you're gonna run in the rain? Be careful not to get sick. That's one way to get sick. Do you play skill toys when you were younger, like yo-yos? Yeah, I used to use yo-yos back in the day. Absolutely. They were fun. Yo-yos, I used to like walk the dog and this little thing where you go in the middle, or you make like a triangle and you go in the middle. I used to do all that crap. It was fun. It was fun, man. If you could become immortal via cloud save, how would you spend your immortality? Immortal via cloud save? I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to be immortal, to be honest. I'm not sure if living forever is a good thing. I think having a longer lifespan would be better, like than what people generally have. Maybe like 150 to 200 years would be better than like 70 to 80 years. You know, maybe like 100. Like maybe like you don't reach like real middle age till you're like 70 something to 80. So that would be nice. Like you look younger for longer, but like immortality, because one of these days the sun's gonna blow up, and when the sun blows up, the Earth is going to be scorched to a roast. Now, by that time, we're gonna perfected space travel. We will perfect synthetic air. Blah blah blah. So people will be all over the galaxy, but still, it'll be a sad day. Crit Astra says, "What is your top 3 underrated games you played?" Also, don't forget. Yes, I will not forget. I will not forget. And your eShop card. And my top 3 underrated games. I'd probably say Dragon Mark for Death. I mean, I think that game is being severely underrated right now, and I think it's a pretty fun game. So I'd say that game. I would say another underrated game would be Dark Sector back on the Xbox 360. I thought that was a bit underrated. People kind of crapped on that game when it came out. I thought it was okay. And I'd also say underrated would also be like Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I think it's a bit underrated based on how it launched, and and also like Torna. Those games are kind of underrated to me as well. So yeah. There's probably other ones though. There's probably other ones that that I'm not thinking about. You're gonna get Dragon Mark. The only thing that I think Dragon Mark for Death, if they would have had a better, like, if they wouldn't have been so greedy with the monetization on there, because Wargroove is 20 and it gives you all the content straight up for 20. Dragon Mark for Death, is 30, and then 2 separate packs, that whole thing, and then the whole DLC plan. It's like Wargroove gives you more content. It gives you online, just like Dragon Mark for Death gives you online. It gives you all that at a more snappy type of game than Dragon Mark for Death. So yeah, I'm gonna pick up Wargroove. Actually, I got a review copy. I asked for a review copy on the Xbox One. They don't have Switch review copy, so I think I want to support the developer anyway. So I'm just gonna drop the $20 on it. So I'm gonna pick up Wargroove just to support them. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to play it too much though. So yeah. Yeah, Suda games are somewhat underrated. Yeah, Suda games. So. Shame we can't get Dragon's Crown on the Switch. I mean, we might get Dragon's Crown. I don't know. There's not a we can't. It could come over at some point. Chuba says, I'm really loving Wargroove. It's really scratching that hardcore strategy game itch. Yeah, I need to pick up. I'm just gonna go buy it on the Switch. Like right after this podcast, I'm gonna go buy it. Just gonna go buy it on the Switch, man. I want to play, and I want to support them. $20 is not a bad price to pay for the game. Like, and that's the cool thing about Wargroove, man. And like some of these smaller games, what I'm noticing is like, it takes less effort just to boot them up. You know what I'm saying? Like just to boot up like an indie game and just to play it like lying down. Like you don't have to worry about the graphics and the input delay or anything like that. You could just like I was playing Dragon Mark for Death like lying down in bed for like after I finished my review, I played it for like another hour or two just lying down, and it was dope. Like Wargroove, another game you could just play like lying down, just chill. Just chill and play it. Fairy Tiger says downloading it now. Yeah. It's just a cool chill. Like a lot of these indie games that are really good, it's just cool to chill and play the game, man. Indie games is love. A good indie game, it can beat a high budget AAA game. Yeah, in my opinion, like a really good indie game can definitely have a better experience. I know like Steamroll Dig for me was like that indie game that really, it was such a polished and good experience, like it beat out, like I beat that game before I beat other games, you know, like before I beat like Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, or like all the other AAA big games that I bought for PS4 and Xbox One and all that case. Like a good polished indie game with, you know, simple controls, depth, and all that can really just, to me, is just more fun to play because it's just easier to pick up. And I can lie down in bed and not have to worry about, oh, well, it doesn't look as good graphically, or it works better with a controller in your hand, you know. Like even Smash Brothers has that to me. It's like, okay, well, I really got to make sure that I play it in my office. I can't really play Smash Brothers lying down in bed, you know, like just because I need to have my GameCube controller. There's certain things like, you know, with Smash Brothers, whereas like with Dragon Mark for Death or with like Wargroove, which I'm gonna buy, or SteamWorld Dig, or SteamWorld Dig 2, it's like you can just pick them up and play them so easy, you know. Let's see, I might buy Wargroove to scratch my Mario Maker itch. I love creating levels and such, and a level editor in Wargroove with a cutscene maker appeals to me a lot. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, that's a little bit of wishful thinking. I don't know if we're ever gonna get another Final Fantasy Tactics game, but it could happen. But anyway. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for this one here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you guys follow me on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, make sure you follow me on Twitter. I will post my link in the description below. We had a good stream for today. What indie game I'm looking forward to the most? I don't know about any indie game that I'm looking forward to the most at this point. I'm not really sure. Shout outs to Jinko, says, I hope I missed the live stream. It's all good, Jinko. Appreciate yeah, Crosscode. Looking forward to Crosscode. That game, yes, we're looking forward to Crosscode. So yeah, make sure you guys follow me on Twitter. If you guys have not seen my Dragon Mark for Death review, should you buy it, please make sure you check out my Dragon Mark for Death review if you should buy the game. There's no spoilers. It's all at the beginning of the game. It's all beginning stuff. So there's no spoilers at all. So make sure you check out my Dragon Mark for Death review. Also, make sure you check out Polaris' Cross Nintendo if you missed my podcast and you want to hear me talk. If you have more stuff to do and you're like, oh man, he's leaving, you know, like I want to just listen to him talk and answer questions and all that. I have Polaris' Cross Nintendo. That's already up. So if you missed that yesterday, that's up on the channel. Go check out Polaris' Cross Nintendo. Also, check out my Animal Crossing video that I talked about, how it's not coming out in April. And then also Nintendo potentially hinting of Mother 3. All of those channels are there. Any news that you missed for the week, it's all up, ready to go on the channel. So thank you guys so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys for being here. You guys being awesome. I appreciate all the donations as well. Thank you guys for that too. And we will see you guys potentially later today for a Mario Kart stream. If not, we're going to do the Spawn cast. I'll be on that at 6 p.m. PT. That is 9 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll be on that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.